Hey guys, it's Fida and today we're going to be making donuts. These donuts are so simple to make. They don't have a hard process. You don't have to knead for too much and you just have to cut it out as soon as you make the dough and keep it for rising. So it has a very easy process and you can make these donuts into any flavor by dipping it in chocolate or by just sprinkling it in sugar and many more things. You can just go crazy with it and do the flavors that you like. And you can make any kind of shape that you want out of these donuts. You can make a normal circle, maybe a mini circle, heart, a flower, or anything that you like. So without any further ado, let's see how we can make these donuts. To start off with, right here I have a large mixing bowl and into it, we have to crack in 1 egg. Next, you have to start beating this egg until it's nice and bubbly. You'll also want the color to become a little bit more pale. So right now, as you can see, it's bubbly and it's become pale. So into it, let's add half a cup of milk. This is really cold milk. Again, it's bubbly, so into it, we'll add 1 teaspoon of yeast, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 3 tablespoons of sugar. Then beat that in again, but make sure you don't overmix it or else the yeast won't bloom well. It's just nicely incorporated, so let's set this bowl aside for 5 minutes so that this yeast blooms well. 5 minutes are over and my yeast has bloomed well. So into it we can add 25 grams of melted butter. Then beat it again. Now that's incorporated in well, let's set this hand beater aside, we don't need it anymore. Next into it we have to add 2 cups of flour. This is all-purpose flour. We have to spoon it in, and after spooning each of the times you have to fold it in with your spatula. So here I've added a large spoon. I'm going to fold that in, and once that's folded I'll continue with the same process until all my flour has finished. So once you feel it's becoming harder and harder to fold with your spatula, you can switch it and you can use your hands to fold the flour in. So add in the rest of your flour and fold it in using your hands. You just have to knead this dough until all the flour is incorporated and nothing more. Right now I've added in all that flour and it's kneaded well. The dough is not at all sticky. It's just perfect. This is the consistency of the dough that you want. Then you have to take a bowl in which you want to keep your dough for rising. Pour some oil and spread it. Spread the oil around the bowl, then make a ball out of your dough and keep the dough on top of the oil. Then spread some more oil on top of the dough. Cover it using a saran wrap. Then keep this dough aside for 2 hours so that it rises well. After 2 hours, you can see that the dough has risen well and the size of it has become double. Let's open up the saran wrap. Now it's very bubbly. Now you don't want to do anything else other than just spreading it out. And start rolling it so that we can cut it into the shape. Don't roll it too much thin. You want it to be pretty thick, so you can see the thickness of it. Make sure all the places are evenly thick. And right here I have a cookie cutter. I'm gonna cut it with the cookie cutter, and then I'm gonna make a smaller hole in between using the end of a piping tip. You can use any sort of thing that is lying around your house, or if you have a donut cutter, you can use that also. Take out the excess dough, and don't throw the excess dough because we can roll this dough again and make more pieces out of it. So make sure you keep this, and all the excess of it can make a large ball. So now I've cut all the donuts. Let's take out the excess dough, and you can repeat the same thing with your excess dough. So now I've got a lot of excess dough. Again, you just repeat the same process with this dough, so you'll get more donuts. Let's place these donuts into another plate. So here I have all my donuts done. I'm gonna repeat the same thing with the rest of my donuts, and I'll just bring it back. Again, I've rolled it and I'm gonna cut it. So here all of my donuts are done. If your donuts are a little bit shapeless, you can just shape it out with your hands. So right now these donuts are done. Let's set it aside. Next, pour some oil into a pan in which you're going to fry it. Once the oil is hot, you can place in your donuts. Don't overfill your pan and don't overcrowd it, or else the donuts won't be able to brown evenly. So after one side is nicely brown, you can flip it over and fry the other side just in the same way. And make sure you put your flame on low so that it gets a little bit more time to cook. After both of your sides are evenly brown, you can transfer your donuts into a plate. So now I've took all of them out, and you have to repeat the same process with the rest of your donuts. Once your donuts are fried, here I have kept all of my favorite toppings, and I have some melted chocolate. I'm first gonna dip the donuts in the melted chocolate, tapping off the excess, and then you can dip it in your favorite topping. I'm just using some sugar in this one. Again, I'm gonna dip it in the chocolate, tapping off the excess. And again, just dip it in your favorite topping. This time I'm going with a few sprinkles. And there are sprinkled donuts already. Next, again, I'm gonna dip it in the chocolate, tap off the excess, and dip it in your favorite topping again. Here I have some nuts. I'm just doing the same process and continuing. Now I've reached my final one, and this one I'm just keeping it simple, dipping it in some chocolate. There my donuts are ready. Let me just set all the sprinkles and things aside and show you. So you can see this one is just chocolate glazed, and the rest of them are my favorite toppings. A few glazed sprinkle ones, then glazed sugar, and some sprinkled nuts. And that's how we made our donuts. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you liked it. And if you did, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up down below. Also subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. Thanks once again and bye-bye.